I've selected design number 35 from your built-in designs as an applique design. If you've never done applique, this is very fun because you use a piece of fabric to actually get in and do the majority of the work. So I'm going to turn this little sophisticated flower into a whimsical flower by using this fabric. And then we'll go around with some extra detail and stitching. Now, there's some universal symbols throughout your book indicating what type of specialty design some of these are. For example, this one is for cut work, and there's a different type of setup for cut work. This one is applique, and all you have to do is come back to the front cover, just on the inside cover here. There's kind of the universal symbols for cut work and applique, and what you need to do. Sometimes you need to use like a heavy water soluble stabilizer for some of those, and what they show you a little bowl of water that indicates that you need to rinse it. There's some pop-up options. So some of the embroidery is actually kind of 3D, so you embroider it and then finish up. So it's really kind of fun. There's chenille, there's endless embroidery, and all sorts of different other couching with the embroidery feet. Yes, there's all sorts of designs in here to have some fun with. So what you have here is step one. You are not going to do anything. Step one is just a placement stitch. So it really doesn't matter what color of thread you have, and we're just going to go ahead and start to sew. And it is going to stitch around the flower area, just so that's what it's going to do. So it's going to move to the first section. We went ahead and moved the design for another video of how to position it and check around all the corners so you can check how that all worked. So this little single line is all it is telling me how big a piece of fabric I need to cover this up. So we're going to just, it doesn't matter, it's like I said, it doesn't matter what color it is. Sometimes it's nice to actually have an area that is a little bit more visible here. Okay, and I am going to trim out that little first stitching that jumped from the center out there. All right, now the thread cut, so I just usually swoop it away so it's out above my fabric. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my fabric down, and we'll go ahead and stitch it again. So it stops after each step, so we'll go ahead. That's why there's extra steps with applique. There's usually a total of 3 steps. One is a placement, so you want to just let it always stitch. Never guess where to put the fabric. It will always tell you. Next, you notice I just laid the fabric down, so there's not a lot that you have to do here. You're going to find yourself just laying that fabric in place, and it's going to stitch around. It's going to go around the design more than once. So that makes sure that if you do, when we go and trim up to this line of stitching, that if we happen to trim a little bit of the threads, it's no big deal. It's going to be very secure. Sometimes I accidentally trim it and it really doesn't matter. So it's going to go ahead and stop. This is where you need some nice sharp scissors that will do the trimming job. My favorite are from Kai Scissors. It's the curved embroidery. We all fight over them at the store. Now we have like tons of them opened up. So this is where you're going to either take the hoop off the machine, or I'm going to touch it, let's see here. So I probably usually have to touch OK. Then use the trim position feature. If you touch it right here, the needle up option brings the whole hoop towards me. Now watch out, you gotta have to kind of move back a little bit because then it brings everybody this way. Here we go. We'll spin this around so you can see. Then I'm out here. I can take the hoop off if I want, but now I can just go in and actually just trim really close to the design. If you don't get, or if you don't have scissors that are really sharp and pointy at the ends, this will not work out. So what's going to happen is that there's going to be extra fabric that's going to stick out past the stitching that's going to happen next. So in the book, do you notice there is a little picture of a pair of scissors between color 2, which we're on, and color 3. So you definitely want to take advantage of those little symbols there. I can trim some of the threads. So again, it's not going to really come out. So again, if you're having trouble, if there's lots of little ins and outs that are hard to reach, go ahead and take the hoop off the machine, because in your lap then you can spin the hoop to be the easiest for you to trim. But you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll just go ahead and keep going here. Closer the better. Sometimes people will use applique scissors. They have a little bit of the duck bill look to them. Sometimes you can get close enough. Sometimes, well, you can't. So it just depends on your pattern. It's good that you're probably going to end up with a couple varieties of scissors at your fingertips, just because each project is going to be a little easier with different tools. So don't be afraid to buy a few extra pairs of scissors. Number one, because it's, well, easier to find if you have multiples. So, all right. So actually, that's really all I need to do. That trim position is also on screen. But as soon as I push start, this whole hoop will move back towards the needle. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just a little bit, and we'll see how that all looks. Here we go. Okay, so if I just push start stop, everybody will go back to where they need to be. We'll just do the outside or the next part of this flower with this thread, and then we'll change up. Actually, I didn't even really look what the next area is. It's going to be kind of the middle part here. We can handle that. There we go. So color 3 is the lighter colors that are in the middle as kind of the little stems out here. So I'll go get some other colors for color 4 and 5, and then we'll show you what that's going to look like. So that's how easy it is to do applique. All you do is you take these little strings, throw them away, and it's just that easy to have a fun middle to your design without waiting for everything to be stitched. So here's my crazy little applique design all finished up. Look, every fabric could turn a different design, a totally different look.